Hello YouTube. Today I'm going to talk about integration with your IPv6 Kubernetes cluster. So basically IPv6 integration, why it's important, kind of what's changing, and what F5 Big IP can do to integrate with IPv6. This is a document that was recently written by Terence, and Terence is located in the Asia Pacific region, and Terence has been working with his customers around that region to deliver IPv6 in their environments, and he's created this awesome document, and I want to just create a little video around it and potentially expose this document so that you can see kind of what's been done, some of the changes that's kind of happened over the last couple of CIS releases, and kind of what we've kind of put into the CIS release to support Terence's customers and also support customers around the world that want to integrate with IPv6. So as you know, IPv6 has been playing a role and has kind of been out there for quite a while. The standards were introduced in 1995, so it's not something new. But what is new is that dual stack IPv4 and IPv6 networking has reached general availability in Kubernetes 1.23. So within Kubernetes, dual stack IPv6 was introduced. It was around 1.18, 1.19, somewhere around there. Now it's actually reached general availability. That means that, if you're a service provider or if you have an environment where you're using IPv6 within Kubernetes, the option of using dual stack is kind of reached a perspective where you can now really deploy it from a general availability perspective. And I think that's really interesting. And so he talks a little bit about some of the changes that's coming. I'd go ahead and take a look at some of these changes he's specifically recommended here, or talked about Project Calico with what Tigera's doing with IPv6, etc. What is interesting is that Big IP is already IPv6 aware. That kind of came many years ago. And so what we did was instead of using potentially something like integration with Calico, we've actually made it a little easier. And that's where Terence actually highlights, F5 has made the specific ingress part of IPv6 way easier with some of the additions that we've added. And so this was actually added to CIS a couple of releases ago, specifically based on these requirements. Some of the things that we did is that we added specific IPv6 criterias to ingress resources that allows customers like yourself, or that allows Terence's customers to really simplify this. And so by utilizing Big IP CIS, that's Container Ingress Services, also what's really cool here, with an IPAM solution, right? So we also added the IPv6 to the F5 IPAM controller to really meet, I think, your needs, specifically within Kubernetes workloads. And the IPAM really simplifies this. You can use them together, but you don't necessarily have to. But you really get that benefit by utilizing the two. So you don't have to manage an IPv6 address for the virtual. IPAM will just create it for you. So one of the things that we had prior to 2.6 was we had no way to communicate directly with Big IP's self IP. We had to go through something called a host alias within the manifest for CIS. But what we've done now is we've put direct integration in there and allows you to specify your Big IP endpoint within CIS as a Big IP URL HTTPS. And you can actually see it right here. This is the Big IP URL that CIS is going to communicate with to configure the IPv6 objects. And you can see what's also been added is the Big IP URL without, if you don't want to use HTTPS, you can just specify it with a different port if you want to do that. right? So this is kind of like non-standard and standard ports. What's really cool here is that we're exposing the IPv6 virtual or public IP address through our virtual server and transport server CRDs. Virtual server being HTTP, transport server being non-HTTP. As you can see in this example right here. So this is the controller configuration. This is the configuration that you would create. Think of it as your ingress resource. This is a transport server CRD you can see here, and you can see here's your IPv6 virtual IP address. And then our service here would be in Nginx service. And so these would be the pods themselves, and CIS would do the service discovery of those pods and then update them as a pull member, and BigIP would load balance from the public IP to the pods themselves. And you can actually see this is an example of a virtual server being path-based, right? So if there's a host or if there's specific paths, then you want to go up to hypothetically L7 to create the virtual server in this case. And so this is really layer 4 versus layer 7. Now, any one of these two potentially could work for you, and you can use any one of these two with IPAM, right? The only difference is that instead of specifying this virtual server address, you would specify your IPAM label. So that's one option. However, by tying together and by removing the characteristics of saying, let's do a virtual server, why not just specify this as service type load balancer? And we've talked about why service type load balancer on this channel. And one of the reasons is simply this one-click public cloud experience when exposing your workload by simply specifying your service to be of type load balancer. That is key. It's the simplicity of just saying, service, I want you to be of type load balancer, and within that type load balancer service, create that public IP address, and you get that public IP from the IPAM controller. And this works really, really, really well in an on-prem environment if you want, right? It's that one-click cloud-like experience. And as you can see right here, this is the IPAM controller logs. You can actually see right here that we're actually creating 3 tests here, and we are actually allocating 3 addresses. Test is actually think of it as a range. So here being range 1, here being range 2. This is like a scope, and within this range, we're going to allocate an address. And so here we see that we have test, and so what we've done is, for example, here we've allocated, 3 addresses for anything that's been picked up. So each service will get a unique IP address potentially from this range. So one thing that is required in the CIS arguments is really just 3 things. The first one is, of course, to say that we're using CRDs. The second is, of course, IPAM is equal to true, and then enable IPAM. Enable IPv6. So IPAM is equal to true, enable IPv6, and then inside your service, you're specifying 2 things. You're specifying some kind of health monitor. You're specifying an IPAM label, and so this is the IPAM label right here. And then there is your type load balance. And I think this is what's really key here, is this type load balance is what's going to give us that cloud-like experience, that simple cloud-like experience, because it's going to pull an IP address from that range, let's say for example that IP address, and it's going to populate the public IP for that service, and you can actually see it right there. So that's actually looking at the service. You could actually see that is the IP address of that service. That's actually really, really, really cool. And as you can see, there is the virtual IP that has been pushed and created on BigIP. So there's no reason to create a transport server or a virtual server because we're using type load balancer. So all you need to do is specify the service, and within the service, CIS will create the virtual on big IP, and you can see there is the virtual IP. That virtual IP is the external or the public IP that is pulled from the service that is created or allocated via IPAM. And you can see the IPAM test is right there. So that address right there comes from the IPAM controller. You could actually see it right there for one of those addresses that has been allocated right there. So I wanted to expose this document. This is a really great write-up of all the work that we've been doing and working with customers that specifically require a dual stack or an IPv6. And I want to close on a statement that Terence wrote, and that I really like the statement, and F5 has ensured that even with a pure IPv6 environment, you are covered with an enterprise-grade ingress solution. So that's really important. Fully supported enterprise-grade ingress solution that not only simplifies exposing of your workload, but also provides potential many security options as well. So if you like this content, please subscribe to this channel. Also subscribe to the Dev Central channels as well. There's a lot of content on there as well. And also, if you really like this video, that will be helpful. Thank you very much and have a good day.